For nearly 5 millennia, the story surrounding the Great Pyramid of Giza has remained largely unchallenged. That it was built by Pharaoh Khufu as a royal tomb, using primitive copper tools, wooden sleds, and tens of thousands of laborers. This narrative, passed down through textbooks and documentaries, is presented as fact. Yet, when scrutinized closely, many of its key components crumble under the weight of evidence, or, more accurately, the lack thereof. The more we investigate, the more it becomes clear. Much of what we know about the pyramid may be based more on assumptions than actual proof. At the heart of this historical enigma stands one of the most iconic and mysterious monuments on Earth. The Great Pyramid is not just a feat of architectural brilliance, it's an engineering marvel. Its precise alignment to true north, the perfect geometry of its sides, and the immense weight and size of its granite blocks raise questions about how such a structure could have been built using only the rudimentary tools available around 2500 BCE. How did ancient workers transport and lift 70-ton blocks with no cranes, no iron tools, and no advanced machinery? Why do modern builders struggle to replicate the same level of precision with today's technology? Much of what we understand about the pyramid has been filtered through the lens of mainstream Egyptology. And no figure has had more influence over that lens than Dr. Zahi Hawass, Egypt's former Minister of Antiquities and longtime gatekeeper of Egypt's archaeological treasures. For decades, Hawass has overseen every major excavation at the Giza Plateau and has fiercely defended the traditional narrative. He is known to dismiss alternative theories outright and has actively shut down independent research that challenges the established story. Critics argue that this control over archaeological access and information has hindered progress and silenced new perspectives. A particularly controversial example involves blocked access to suspected hidden chambers inside the pyramid. Advanced scanning technologies such as muon detection and infrared thermography have revealed anomalies, voids, and cavities that may contain unknown rooms or artifacts. Yet efforts to further explore these discoveries are often met with resistance. The question is why? What are authorities afraid we might find? Is this a matter of preserving Egypt's national story, or could it be an effort to keep hidden truths buried? Some theorists propose that the Great Pyramid is much older than the reign of Khufu, perhaps built by a lost civilization with knowledge of advanced engineering or even unknown technology. These ideas, once laughed off as pseudoscience, are gaining traction as conventional explanations fall short. Evidence such as laser straight cuts in granite, perfectly drilled holes, and inexplicable alignments with celestial bodies suggest a level of sophistication that challenges the narrative of copper tools and rope. The possibility that the pyramid was never intended as a tomb at all is another angle worth examining. Unlike other Egyptian pyramids, no mummies, inscriptions, or funerary artifacts were ever discovered inside the Great Pyramid. Its internal structure, with narrow shafts and mysterious chambers, lacks the religious symbolism typically found in tombs. This raises a stunning possibility. What if the pyramid had a completely different purpose, perhaps related to astronomy, energy, or something even more profound? Whether these ideas turn out to be true or not, one thing is clear: the history of the Great Pyramid is far from settled. As we peel back the layers of speculation, censorship, and half-truths, a more complex and astonishing story begins to emerge, one that might just reshape our understanding of human history. Perhaps the greatest secrets of the Great Pyramid have not been lost to time, but rather deliberately kept from view. The deeper we dig, the more we realize the real mystery of the pyramid isn't just how it was built, but why the truth has been buried for so long. The golden tombs, intricate hieroglyphs, and the majestic Great Pyramid of Giza have long stood as symbols of ancient Egypt's grandeur. Rising from the desert sands, the Great Pyramid has captivated the world for centuries. We've been told that it was constructed around 2550 BCE, under the orders of Pharaoh Khufu, who supposedly employed tens of thousands of workers equipped only with rudimentary tools and sheer willpower. This story, widely accepted and repeated in textbooks and museums, appears at first glance to be a remarkable testament to human ingenuity. But a deeper examination reveals glaring inconsistencies that challenge this mainstream narrative. One of the most striking issues is the lack of direct evidence linking Khufu to the construction of the Great Pyramid. While ancient Egyptians were meticulous record keepers, documenting even the most mundane aspects of daily life, there are no detailed inscriptions or official records describing the construction of the Great Pyramid. No royal decrees, no carving of Khufu overseeing the building process, no hieroglyphs proclaiming his glory within the monument itself. The only alleged link is a faint mark found in a hidden chamber, discovered long after the pyramid was first explored, whose authenticity has been hotly debated. If Khufu had commissioned such an enormous, unparalleled structure, why is the historical record so eerily silent? Even more puzzling is the absence of typical burial evidence inside the pyramid. Unlike other known Egyptian tombs, which are filled with elaborate inscriptions, ornate artifacts, and mummified remains, the Great Pyramid is devoid of such features. There are no treasures, funerary goods, or any sign of Khufu's body. This stark difference raises a fundamental question. Was the Great Pyramid really built as a tomb? Or have we misinterpreted its true purpose? Adding to the mystery is the extraordinary engineering of the structure. The Great Pyramid is aligned almost perfectly with true north, a level of precision that still impresses modern engineers and astronomers. Inside, massive granite blocks some weighing up to 80 tons are arranged with such precision that they defy explanation, using only copper chisels and stone hammers. Engineer Christopher Dunn, among others, has studied the stones and pointed out drill holes and cuts that suggest the use of advanced machining techniques. Modern experiments attempting to replicate these features with primitive tools have largely failed, highlighting the improbability of the traditional construction theories. Another enigma lies in the pyramid's internal lighting. The passageways and chambers are deep and complex, yet they show no signs of soot or smoke residue, something that would be expected if torches or oil lamps had been used. This anomaly raises provocative questions. How did the builders illuminate these dark corridors without leaving a trace? Could they have used a now lost form of technology? Or does this suggest a completely different method of construction than we've assumed? This line of questioning has drawn the ire of mainstream Egyptologists, particularly Dr. Zahi Hawass, who has tightly controlled archaeological research in Egypt for decades. Hawass is known for rejecting unorthodox theories and limiting access to key sites. Independent researchers like Robert Bovell, who proposed that the Giza pyramids align with Orion's belt as it appeared around 10,500 BCE, have been met with skepticism and even hostility. Geologist Dr. Robert Schoch and author John Anthony West, who studied weathering patterns on the Great Sphinx, found evidence of water erosion that suggests the monument may be over 12,000 years old, predating dynastic Egypt by millennia. Their theory implies that an advanced pre-Egyptian civilization may have built the Sphinx, with the ancient Egyptians later restoring it. The implications of this theory are profound. If the Sphinx and perhaps even the pyramids were built by a civilization that existed before the Sahara became desert, when the Giza Plateau was a lush savanna, it would completely rewrite the history of human civilization. West speculated that early sculptors took advantage of natural rock outcroppings and carved a colossal figure, possibly a lion or deity, which was later modified by the Egyptians into the image of a pharaoh. Geological evidence, including rounded erosion patterns caused by rain, strongly supports this timeline. And yet, mainstream Egyptologists have not offered convincing counterarguments. Instead, they often ignore the data or dismiss it without proper engagement. The mysteries surrounding the Great Pyramid and the Sphinx suggest that we may be looking at remnants of a forgotten era, an ancient past far older and more advanced than we've dared to imagine. Whether it was lost technology, a different civilization, or something else entirely, one thing is clear: the story we've been told is far from complete. Only by remaining open to new ideas and unbiased evidence can we hope to uncover the truth buried beneath the sands of time. For centuries, the Great Pyramid of Giza has stood as one of humanity's most iconic structures, a testament to ancient Egypt's supposed architectural genius. Yet as new discoveries come to light and long-held assumptions are questioned, the pyramid's true origins and purpose seem far more mysterious and perhaps even deliberately obscured. If there truly is nothing extraordinary hidden beneath Egypt's sands, then why does so much secrecy surround ongoing exploration? Why are researchers constantly blocked at crucial moments? And why is access to potentially groundbreaking findings so tightly controlled? One of the most intriguing turning points came in the early 1990s when German engineer Rudolf Gantenbrink explored the Queen's chamber shafts using a robotic camera. These shafts, previously thought to be symbolic, revealed something astonishing: a mysterious limestone door fitted neatly within the passage, complete with two small copper handles. This was unprecedented. Copper fittings had never been found in the pyramid before, suggesting the door may guard something important. Just as Gantenbrink prepared to investigate further, Egyptian authorities abruptly stopped his work. Nearly a decade later, in 2002, a National Geographic team returned and drilled through the door, only to find a second sealed slab behind it. To this day, that second door remains unopened and unexplored. Why? The mystery deepened in 2017 when scientists using muon radiography, a cosmic ray scanning technique, discovered a massive void above the Grand Gallery. This hidden chamber, large enough to rival any known room inside the pyramid, has no visible entrance, and its purpose remains unknown. Yet, despite its importance, access to explore it has been persistently denied. Egyptian authorities cite concerns about preservation, but critics argue that such resistance prevents answers that could rewrite our understanding of ancient history. Adding to the mystery are the signs of advanced craftsmanship inside the pyramid. Researchers like engineer Christopher Dunn have studied the precision cuts in granite blocks and concluded that they exhibit machining characteristics far beyond what copper tools could achieve. These perfectly drilled holes, symmetrical cuts, and smoothly carved surfaces challenge the belief that such work was done with stone hammers and chisels. Experiments attempting to recreate these results with traditional methods have consistently failed. If modern tools struggle with such tasks, how could ancient builders without access to steel or electricity have managed them? The possibility of advanced ancient technology or inherited knowledge from a lost civilization is bolstered by other unexplained features. The pyramid's internal corridors are so deep and complex that light would have been necessary during construction. Yet there are no traces of soot or smoke inside, no signs of torches or oil lamps. This raises further questions. Could the builders have had access to a cleaner, unknown source of light, or were these corridors constructed in a way we do not yet understand? Then there's Dr. Zahi Hawass, the powerful figure who has overseen Egyptian archaeology for decades. While he's widely praised for preserving Egypt's cultural heritage, many researchers argue that his rigid control has suppressed new ideas and alternative theories. Only those who support the official narrative are granted excavation permissions, while others, regardless of their credentials, are sidelined. Hawass's defenders claim he's protecting history from pseudoscience, but critics see a gatekeeper intent on maintaining a specific version of the past. This restrictive approach has frustrated scholars like Robert Bauval, who proposed the Orion correlation theory. Bauval found that the three Giza pyramids align almost perfectly with Orion's belt, not as it appeared in Khufu's time, but around 10,500 BCE. In Egyptian mythology, Orion represented Osiris, the god of rebirth and the afterlife. Could the alignment be intentional? And if so, does it date the pyramids to an era far older than mainstream historians accept? Geologist Dr. Robert Scotch and researcher John Anthony West offer another controversial theory, this time about the Sphinx. They argue that the Sphinx shows signs of water erosion, round, undulating patterns that only heavy rainfall could have caused. But the Sahara hasn't seen that kind of rainfall since the end of the last ice age, over 12,000 years ago. This would suggest that the Sphinx predates the ancient Egyptian civilization by thousands of years. Mainstream Egyptologists have failed to offer strong counterarguments, and instead often ignore the geological evidence altogether. These combined anomalies, the lack of inscriptions linking Khufu to the pyramid, the impossibility of carving and transporting multi-ton granite blocks with primitive tools, the hidden chambers, unexplored sealed doors, and the suspiciously perfect star alignments paint a picture of a monument far more complex than a simple royal tomb. The official story starts to look like a convenient narrative rather than an accurate historical account. Alternative thinkers such as Graham Hancock propose that Egypt's ancient monuments are legacies of a lost global civilization, one wiped out by a cataclysm or series of natural disasters. He points to sites like Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, which dates back to at least 12,000 years ago, as evidence that highly sophisticated societies existed long before recorded history. Hancock and others believe that fragments of their knowledge may have been passed down and inherited by early Egyptian cultures. Supporting this are enigmatic structures such as the Osirian at Abydos and the massive granite boxes in the Serapeum at Saqqara, both of which exhibit craftsmanship that even today would require advanced tools and heavy machinery. These artifacts challenge the accepted view of Bronze Age capability and hint at a civilization with far superior technology and knowledge. Despite mounting evidence and widespread public interest, mainstream archaeology still hesitates to revisit its foundational assumptions. Part of this resistance may stem from the sheer magnitude of what's at stake. Rewriting history would not only disrupt long-standing academic theories but also force nations and cultures to rethink their origins. For Egypt, whose national pride is closely tied to the grandeur of the pyramids, accepting that these monuments might not have been built by Egyptians or during the dynastic period would be a seismic shift. Until Egyptian authorities allow open, transparent exploration, especially of the sealed chambers, hidden voids, and buried structures, the full truth will remain just out of reach. But with technology advancing and public curiosity growing, it's likely only a matter of time before these secrets are brought into the light. When that happens, we may find that history as we know it is only the beginning of a much deeper, richer story, one that connects the ancient world not just to Egypt, but to a forgotten chapter of human civilization itself.